Hi everyone. Today I'm going to talk about Piriformis syndrome and how can you differentiate this condition from herniated disc. The signs and symptoms of these two conditions can be similar, and in some cases it might make you very worried. I'm going to go through a couple of tests that you can do at home and see whether is that come from your piriformis or your pain is coming from your herniated disc. At the same time, I'm going to suggest you a couple of exercises that you can do and you can start your rehab right away. If you've never been in this channel, my name is Bob and I'm a physical therapist. And in this channel, I share with you simple tips and exercises for quicker recovery. Make sure to subscribe our channel for our weekly update. Let's get started. To differentiate Piriformis syndrome from herniated disc, I'm gonna explain for you what is Piriformis syndrome and what are the signs and symptoms, how can we test it, and what are the exercises that you can do at home. Piriformis is a muscle that is the external rotator of your hip, and it can get tight and irritate and bother your sciatica nerve. Now, your sciatica nerve passes by very closely to this muscle, and due to that tightness, it can actually get compressed and get irritated. Now, there are some signs and symptoms that you can basically experience if you're experiencing Piriformis syndrome, which could be pain around your gluteal area, and with sitting can actually aggravate your pain. And if you're a driver or if you sit in the office, you might actually feel that burning sensation or tingling around your glute and your hip. Now, if you stand up and you walk, that can actually sometimes help. But what are the tests that you could do to actually test this muscle? Now, the simplest test that you can do is applying some pressure around this muscle that you can use either your hand or a ball. Now, Piriformis is basically around your gluteal muscle, which is if you press it and if it's positive, you can actually feel that muscle and it basically gives you a similar type of pain and irritation that usually you get, which means that would be a positive test that your Piriformis is actually causing that pain. Now, the second test that you do is actually an exercise, which is a stretch that we do as a test, but it basically can help you to relieve your pain. We call it figure 4, which means you cross the leg that is symptomatic, which means this side, if it's sore, you cross it, and we try to basically lean slightly forward and see if that actually gives you a similar kind of pain that usually you get. And this basically help you to stretch your Piriformis muscle and your gluteal muscle at the same time. But while you're holding it there, if you get a similar kind of sign and symptoms, that means that your Piriformis actually is causing your pain. I'm going to show you now 2 exercises to do to relieve these basic symptoms. Let's go through those. The first exercise that I'm going to show you guys, it's a similar exercise that I show you just seated, but you can do it in a chair, which is give you a little bit more control. If you don't find it comfortable seated, you can do the figure 4 stretch. Basically, you're crossing the leg that is sore, and we'll try to apply slight pressure and the knees down. And in some cases, actually even sitting in this position can actually give you a bit of relief and feel the stretch around there. Now, I use a cushion on the chair because that can give you a bit of kind of like support and doesn't compress that nerve when you're doing it. Now, while you're holding it there, you can hold it for 15 to 20 seconds for 3-4 rounds. And try it for both sides. Now, if you find that is not very comfortable, you can again do the same thing as I showed you earlier. Seated and cross the leg. And you shouldn't be too far back. You want to stay close to your basically knee, and if you want to feel it more, you can bring the other leg basically closer to your body and hold it there 15 to 20 seconds for 3-4 rounds. Now, you can try it for both sides and see how you're getting on. This exercise can actually help you to stretch that muscle, but don't think, okay, we're doing it for 1 or 2 days, it's gonna improve your symptoms. It might, but I would suggest to carry on even when you don't have any pain. The following exercise that I'm going to show you guys is gonna be strengthening your internal rotator of your hip. I'm gonna show you how to do it and you can give it a try. You need a resistance band like this as a loop, and you're gonna lie down on your back and use this around your shin bone And the opposite side, it's going to be stable and basically just give you support. And you're trying to just lie on your back and internally rotating your hip. Now, while you're doing that, basically with the resistance band, it gives you some sort of tension to strengthen those basically muscle. You can try this for 3 sets of 8 to 12. And as you can see, it's not a very big movement there. In comparison, I'm going to try the other side. You can see my left side is actually worse. It's usually not that good, but with practicing this movement, you're not only basically strengthening your internal rotator of your hip, but it also actually creates some sort of movement there, and it can help you in terms of your piriformis syndrome. Now we're going to move on to what type of exercise that you could do for your herniated disc and how you can test it and what are the signs and symptoms are. In comparison to piriformis syndrome, herniated disc happen when your disc compresses the nerve within your lower back and creates some sort of symptoms such as pain in your lower back and your hip, pins and needles, and sometimes numbness, and in severe cases you might actually have some weakness in your leg as well. But how can you test it? There's so many tests that you can do for your herniated disc, but simple movements such as forward flexion that I'm going to show you now can usually aggravate your pain, which means if you're going to this position, which means leaning forward, that actually doesn't feel good and it's actually aggravate your pain. And to make sure that this is actually come from the disc, you're definitely kind of getting more pain when you're getting to that position. Now, one of the best way to improve your symptoms, we have a video specifically for this, basically herniated disc, that you can watch it. I'm going to put it on the link below, which is help you to look at a variety of exercises that you can do to improve your symptoms. But one of the simplest exercises that you can do, it would be Mackenzie, which is hyperextension or just a normal extension. You're going to lie down on your belly, face down, and you can start from this position if you feel uncomfortable, and you can come back up to this position. Even staying there can give you some sort of comfort and improve your symptoms. Now, this is one of the exercises that I have in that video. I would suggest you to go and watch the full video and let us know if you have any question. If you have any question about this routine, guys, leave me a comment and I'll get back to you quickly. Make sure to subscribe our channel, like and share this video with your friends and family who need this routine. I'll see you guys in the following week with a new routine. All the best.